This is Open to Work, honest conversations about looking for work, getting work, and what to do when there is no work. With so much talk at the moment around the creator economy and the effect it's having on viewer habits, I thought it was time we talked to Tom Maynard from Amplify, an agency that represents some of Australia's biggest content creators. Tom, thanks so much for joining us today. To start, I'd like to know, what is Amplify and what is your role in it?
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for inviting me on for this conversation. Really excited. So my name's Tom. I'm one of the co-founders of Amplify. We really call ourselves a creator-led agency, and that kind of may seem vague, but I guess as it relates to Amplify, we manage creators, we manage YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagrammers, help build their career, help guide them along the way. We work with brands to create influencer-driven campaigns that live on across TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. And we also produce content for brands and for our creators also. So whether that's a podcast or whether that's a huge content initiative or always on content, those three elements, content, campaigns, and creators, all work together in this new world.
So, Tom, we both worked in the machine of reality television or unscripted. When did you see that the tide was turning towards social content and away from traditional broadcast?
Yeah, so I've kind of always worked on the intersection of digital and reality TV. That's how I started my career, working across X Factors, MasterChefs, Big Brothers, etc. Where I was managing the digital side, so the website back in the day. I was actually really, really early. It was probably like 08, 09 when YouTube and Facebook both started becoming a real thing. And we were working with, at that stage, YouTubers that were growing huge audiences across Australia, but also the world. So always kind of wanted to do something on that intersection of TV and digital. But like the light bulb moment was for me was when we were working with a creator back in the day. She was an Australian-based YouTuber, and she just had a huge amount of followers all of a sudden. And I was like, the ability to have no middleman, no executive producer, no commissioner, no editor, but being able to talk to your audience in such a kind of like prolific and unfiltered manner where you get to make all your changes was definitely a light bulb moment for me, where you could see things were actually going, and I guess democratizing audiences, and the audiences actually chose what was successful, not the executive producers or development people or commissioners at network. So that was really the thing that got me super excited about this space. And I guess like since that time in 08, 09, that industry's changed so much, and so has this I guess creator economy too.
A lot of people watching might understand the word influencer and all the rest of it. Creator and the creator economy is a slightly newer term. I guess, is there a difference between an influencer and a creator? Are they the same thing? Is it all kind of melding? How would you define it?
Great question, Ben. Around 2014, 15, 16, influencers were very much, I guess, built through Instagram. And it was about very static content or promoting a tanning lotion and you've got a great body and living this amazing life. Whereas I think where we look at the word creator, we kind of see people that actually have proper fandoms and proper communities built around the content that they're creating. So that could be a creator that's doing a podcast, but also doing a newsletter via Substack. But we really look at like, do they have the ability to motivate an audience to take an action, whether it's listening to a podcast or subscribing to their newsletter or buying their book. But I guess like the word creator is, I guess, a very, very multifaceted term, but it's built around content and community for us.
A lot of my audience will be interested in the economics behind the creator economy. I think we all understand how traditional television and streaming television and ad-supported television all works, but how are content creators generating income?
There are definitely no rules around the financials. I think like what's hard for people coming from traditional media or traditional television is expecting the economics to be the same from the outset, where they are definitely not. The key thing is everything comes from building that audience, and I think like the old term where eyeballs go, money flows is really really important to when you're looking at this. So if you have eyeballs, you have leverage, and you have, I guess, a pathway to good financial numbers. But in terms of like overall economics, there's lots of different ways you can make money. But first and foremost, it's about building community and audiences that are interested in what you're saying. And I think also, that can be from like a middle class creator all the way to the Mr. Beasts of the world that have 200 or 300 people working for them possibly at any one time. But then you've got people that are totally independent and creating their own content and monetizing themselves directly and maybe earning, I don't know, 30,000-40,000 bucks a year. So it is all levels of it. Actually, probably even less. Like some people could be dedicated to this and earning even less. But creators that are kind of getting to a fairly hefty audience size and fairly hefty economics, they are starting to need, I guess, additional resources around them, whether that's creative ideas. There's a lot of creator burnout out there where the constant pressure to feed the beast and feed the platforms new and new content, it can be like creatively draining. So if you have a team around you of producers that are helping you create those ideas and those content formats, it's super super valuable. Could be editors, could be graphic designers, could be audience development people. Like there's a lot of like, I guess, transferable skills. I think it's also like people coming from traditional need to look at this as they need to de-learn a lot of what they already knew. I think, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here, Ben. I'd love for your opinion, but maybe it's the baggage that I have of coming from that world. But I definitely feel like producers don't necessarily really interrogate their ideas from an audience perspective. So much of it is based on gut feeling rather than like, you need to really be able to marry up that data with that creative gut feeling in order to make right decisions for the audience.
That's amazing, Tom. There are a couple of things in that answer I want to unpack. So the first is, let's unpack the audience and the gut feeling. So, you talked about data and all the rest of it. Is that a matter of a content creator doing a whole range of different things and seeing what sticks? Or is it about like, this is the kind of content I want to create. I want to stick to my guns and make this kind of content, whether the audience comes or not? Or, how does that work? What are the processes of going through that?
If you want to start your own content initiative or channels, etc., I think you look at it as like, what am I interested in? What can I wake up every day creating content around? And that's, I think, and what do you have a particular expertise in? And I think, I'm sorry to use all these cliches, but the Americans also have this one, which is niches get riches. So if you stick to a particular content vertical or category, whether it's gardening, whether it's rollerblading, I don't know, whatever kind of thing you're passionate about, and you can build an audience and create content every single day, that's a really good starting place to launch your I guess content and audience strategy. And then I guess it's about incrementally testing ideas around that particular category, and then testing different platforms too. Does it work on TikTok? Should it be a podcast? Should it be a long form YouTube video? Should it be a live stream on Twitch? I guess it's like figuring out what platforms you should be also playing in.
Amazing. I think that's great advice. And then the other part of your previous answer I want to unpack are the opportunities for people who do come from the more traditional areas of the media industry, like, free-to-air television or cable television or even streaming now, which it feels new, but it is, getting on a bit. A crew member, for example, a producer, a director, a camera operator, somebody who feels like they can contribute to the creator economy, but they don't necessarily want to be a creator themselves. They might see, a Maddie McRae or an Oliver Mills or somebody like that and think, I want to work with that person. How do they go about it? How do we start to get into the stratosphere of these huge content creators?
It's super easy to reach out to these guys. They usually all have emails in their in their bios. You know, they're willing to have conversation, and they are willing to level up their production. And like, how do you? I think figuring out how you can partner with these creators to elevate their production and elevate what they're doing, and I guess taking the pressure off them. Don't go in there with like they've got $500 or $1,000 a day to do things for you, because a lot of the time they won't. But if you can create, I guess, vehicles to where you're investing time and they're investing time, and that's the transaction, and there's some kind of ownership over IP, whether it's creating a podcast together or whether it's creating a short film together, whatever the kind of category it's in. I think going in like that would be super, super helpful. There's lots of avenues for every part of, I guess, like the production process to assist in this creator economy. But I think like you probably need to be a little bit more generalists in what you can offer. So you're not just going to necessarily be switching a live broadcast. You're going to be probably managing the chat stream that's happening at the same time, as well as making sure the creator is mic'd up and all the audio levels are fine. So there's just, unfortunately, not a lot of the time the budgets that allow all of those elements to have individual resources. So I think if you're a challenge producer on that's you, okay,
That's
Ben,
me.
sorry. What else can you offer? Yeah, here's my creative ideas, but I'm also going to have to be on set taking notes, and you know what? I'm going to have to do an assembly edit of that really, really quickly too, straight after, in order to be able. And I'm going to have to media manage too, so I'm going to have to take all that data and take the DSLRs that they've been shooting on. Editing is definitely an Achilles heels of creators, where they can't create enough content. People are having ideas burnouts, or creators are burning out for ideas all the time. So if there's a producer that can constantly help them build their ideas, and also like creating formats, they wake up and go, oh my gosh, I need to have some amazing creative idea. But if they can build formats that they can consistently produce, it kind of helps alleviate a lot of that pressure for them. Every job is different, but I just think in general, your roles are a little bit more multifaceted than that too.
All right, so somebody's watching this and they come from traditional television or an area within that, and they think, all right, I do want to do this. I do want to work in the new media, the creator economy. What's something they can do today? What's a first step they can take?
Learn to edit, learn to upload, learn about the audiences on those channels. I think like you have to really have audience first, and like how they're consuming content, but also interacting with their content. Like culture in social and the internet world moves so fast, it changes every single day, and every platform like Twitch to TikTok has a very different kind of culture also. So I think like editing is, I just feel like, so fundamental in a lot of ways to prepare yourself for this world. I think it just shows that you can get your hands dirty. The other really key thing is to not come in with preconceived ideas of how something should be. That's why I just put the key one. Don't come in with any kind of preconceived ideas, because you're going to have to learn a really different way of doing things, and it'll be all dictated by how the audience responds to it. Not just putting the content. It's not enough to just put the content out there and expect 100,000 people to watch that content. There's a lot of kind of groundwork to go, and also like consistency. Things do not happen in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months to get scale. Like I think it took Mr. Beast several years to actually get to his first million subscribers. So you have to kind of really believe in the content that you're producing and start chipping away every single day and always improving things.
Tom, this has been great. Thank you so much. If people do want to find Amplify, if they're looking to work with some of the creators you represent, how can they find you? Where are you?
My head office is in Sydney, but we're based all over the world. But you can always email me, tom@thisamplify.com. I try and respond all the time, make a habit of it. So yeah, get in touch, and hopefully we can help.
Amazing. Tom, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you very much, Ben.
Thanks to my guest, Tom Maynard. Thanks to Lowkii Productions for helping me put all of this together. And thanks to you for watching. See you next time.